Some final thoughts on my maiden voyage riding the Stark Varg for the first time on a hard enduro loop, very sandy desert loop that I'm very familiar with. That's why I chose it. Also, it's a 20-mile loop. Again, why I chose it, because concerned about the rain, so the sand was going to be a concern. The bike did great. It used somewhere between 64% of the range. Besides the range, another concern I had was the suspension. How was it going to handle in an enduro situation? But the reality is that it has such a wide range of adjustments as long as you pick soft springs. I weigh 165, fully geared up. I'm like at 190, 195 with my backpack and water and everything else I take. So I ended up going with the softest springs. Stock as the bike came, the rear sag is right on the money for my weight. And I opened up all the clickers almost to full soft, went to full soft, and then I backed it in a couple of clicks. And after doing that, I thought it was still gonna suck because the rear shock felt super stiff as I bounced on the seat. And it turns out that it has both low and high speed rebound damping. So there's three adjustments at the top of the shock, and there's an adjuster at the bottom for the high speed rebound. Once I backed that one out, it got super soft. It felt better than my WR250F did when it was stock. It felt great. It felt nice and soft for enduro. Riding through this particular loop, because of all the whoops, ruts, and some of the rough sections, it's actually like riding on a rough motocross track. The stiffer suspension actually helped get through a lot of stuff better than I would have on the WR. And I don't know what it is about the geometry of the bike. It feels very stable. There's sections where I would get some head shake on the WR250F, no head shake. I don't feel tired at all. It's crazy. That loop is usually a huge workout. I'm not tired. It's crazy how much the shifting, the foot braking, the clutch action really tires out your forearm. The vibration of a gas bike does make you more tired because all the stimulus and inputs on your nerves and your muscles, you don't realize how tiring that is. It's such a relief to not have to think about the clutch, to not have to think about shifting, to not have to think about the foot braking. I did a bunch of ghost shifting and a bunch of ghost braking at the beginning, reaching for the lever. There were some hill climbs where I was, thinking, am I in the right gear for this hill climb? And I was like, wait a minute, there is no right gear. It's always the right gear. I don't know how I'm going to be able to go back and ride my WR250F after that experience. It's just mind-blowing how good that bike is. And I always ride with earplugs because the bikes are loud, and you lose and damage your hearing riding dirt bikes if you don't wear earplugs. I didn't wear earplugs this time, and it makes noise. It's not quiet, and the motor makes quite a bit of noise. And you can hear it, but it's not loud. It's not a high-level ear-splitting sound, number one. Number two, it really helps you hear what the tires are doing, what the suspension is doing. I stopped several times to check the rear tire thinking that it was flat, but no, it's just that you're hearing the knobs grab onto the soil. And the regen is great. I had it set at 80% regen. You really don't have to use the rear brake much at that level of regen. It's not like you're hitting a wall when you let off the throttle, because you can let off a little bit and you get a little bit of regen. You let off more, you get more regen. It's very controllable. And then off the bottom, it's crazy. It's better than any carbureted bike. Carbureted bikes are really smooth. It's much better than the best carbureted bikes I've ever ridden. You can control the torque to the back tire so precisely. I mean, you can inch forward, millimeter precision. You can stop in the middle of a loose hill, a sandy hill, and you can just start moving forward. That's why the Stark Varg is selling like crazy and so successful. It's so much fun to be able to focus on your line, so responsive to the throttle. I mean, you can just loft the front tire over whoops very easily. And I was only running at 39 horsepower. Only running it at 39 horsepower, and it did that well. It's just crazy good. I just hope it's reliable. There have been a lot of little problems. So far, the bike is flawless. And, you always get the people that have problems being the ones that complain or seek help on the forums. I had a little bit of trouble getting the bike set up, but that's just because Lithium Power Sports had not yet transferred ownership, which makes sense because they can't transfer ownership when the bike is still on the FedEx truck. They got to wait till they've confirmed receipts. It arrived at my house yesterday afternoon, late afternoon. Lithium Power Sports was closed by then in Florida. I'm in Texas. Contacted them by phone this morning, and within a few minutes they had transferred the ownership. I was able to see the bike on the app, finish the configuration. It was quick and easy. It was painless. After that, it was nothing but fun. The assembly of the bike does feel like a European bike. Super high quality components, super high quality construction, but there's just a few parts of the bike, certain fasteners, the way you tighten them, the way they feel as you're tightening the fasteners, doesn't feel quite like my Yamaha. It doesn't feel quite like They've got that super deep knowledge of and refinement on how to make threads on a bolt, put a bolt in a spot that's super easy to tighten and access. Most of them are okay, but there's a couple that are like, oh, you know, this should have been done a little bit different. In general, the bike feels super high quality, super solid. Yeah, it's just incredible. Stark has been really awesome with everybody, it seems, to fix any issues, and you know, it's got a 2-year warranty, and they're very quick about sending entire powertrains, if it takes, entire batteries over to people that have any issues. I really wish them success. I hope they really knock it out of the park. Royal Enfield investing money in them is a good indication that there's a strong future for them. Super thrilled. I mean, I'll keep reporting on my experience with the Stark Varg, but it's just amazing, an amazing product. My friend Bo, who chaperoned me, I didn't want to do my first loop alone. Very different bike, concerned about reliability, concerned about the range. He got on it for a bit, and he was super happy. I mean, he's seriously thinking about buying one. And I'm thinking about buying a Cove like his. That pair of bikes can do a lot. Very broad range of applications. He might be getting one soon. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll keep reporting on my experience. So far, it's incredible. If you find this type of content useful, please consider subscribing and hit that like button to be notified of future content.